Mike Davis. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Mike, what's going on here? You got the DOJ, the FBI, they investigated Gaetz. 2021, several years ago, they did nothing, right? They did nothing with those claims because the two witnesses, they have major credibility issues. So why is this report even relevant? What is going on with this smear campaign? Do people not realize that's what's going on?
Yeah, the President of the United States won on November 5th in an overwhelming victory, 312 electoral votes. He's entitled to have the cabinet he wants so long as they are qualified. Matt Gaetz is certainly qualified to be the Attorney General with his experience on the House Judiciary Committee. He's a bold, fearless reformer. If an accuser thinks that a nominee is disqualified, it is their burden. It is their job to come forward with very specific, credible, clear, and convincing evidence to prove that that nominee who's otherwise qualified is somehow disqualified from personal misconduct. That has not happened here. These allegations, as you said, have been around for years. The Biden-Harris Justice Department declined to bring these charges. As you said, there are credibility problems. And I would encourage your viewers to read Molly Hemingway's work at the Federalist. She has looked into all of these court records. She's looked into these transcripts, and she has come away with the same conclusion you have. There are credibility problems with these witnesses.
You know, Mike Davis, if certain GOP senators, if you think about it, they continue to kind of act as obstructionists, right? And they're standing in the way of what the American people want, which is what Trump wants, MAGA. Like you said, they overwhelmingly, this was a landslide victory. What do you think Trump should do?
Look, the Senate has an independent constitutional responsibility to vet these candidates and make sure that they're qualified and they're not disqualified, and they should do that. But they should not drag this out. They should either these accusers come forward with very specific, credible, clear, and convincing firsthand knowledge, no hearsay, no bogus letters, no lawyers speaking for witnesses. They either come forward with this very specific, credible, clear, and convincing firsthand knowledge, or Matt Gaetz should get confirmed very expeditiously.
You know, and then meantime, you've got Democrats and their policies. They're destroying cities across our nation. The very people Democrats claim to be protecting are being hurt the most by their reckless policies. In New York City, for example, cops there arrested a man after he randomly stabbed to death 3 people across Manhattan. A judge, this same guy, a judge released him from jail just a few weeks ago. He also has a violent rap sheet. He was arrested 9 times just in the past year. And then you have Marine veteran Daniel Penny. He saved lives when he put a homeless guy in a chokehold because he was threatening to kill everyone in the subway car. People were trapped. I mean, if you've ever ridden a subway, it gets really creepy and scary when there's someone walking around, getting in your face, saying they want to kill you. The homeless man, he ended up dying. He was drug addicted. He had a history of mental illness. He had been arrested almost 40 times. So, Mike, we have this 2-tier justice system. Why are they so obsessed with going after Trump? All the millions of dollars, Tish James, Governor Hochul, you name it. Look what they did to Trump. Look what they're doing to Daniel Penny. Meanwhile, we have actual criminals roaming the streets, and they do nothing about it.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem. Maybe these Democrat Manhattan voters should start thinking about that before they put a Soros-funded Manhattan DA in office to politicize and weaponize the office to go after President Trump for a non-crime of a businessman settling a nuisance claim and putting it in his private books as a legal expense, and somehow doing that 7 years ago was somehow a campaign finance violation. This is the result of electing these woke Soros-funded prosecutors. These real criminals roam the streets and hurt Manhattan residents, and they go after people like Penny, a hero, for protecting these real residents from these violent criminals.
Alvin Bragg is actually poised to be reelected. I mean, you should see New York City. I mean, I'm sure it's horrible what's happened since he's been the head guy in charge. I mean, the district attorney. What do you think about that? How could people be so stupid to keep that guy in office?
Well, I mean, I think being oftentimes these woke Democrats have a mental illness. Otherwise, why would they be woke Democrats? And if they want to keep voting for these people who are going to bring crime and chaos to their cities, what do they expect is going to happen, right? Fortunately, President Trump, when his Justice Department takes over, they're going to clean up these cities. We're not going to let violent crime destroy American cities. President Trump talked about that on the campaign trail, and he's going to deliver that for all Americans across America, even the deranged lunatics in Manhattan who didn't vote for him.
So can Trump boot Bragg?
Well, I don't know if he could boot Bragg, but he can have the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office go after these violent criminals for federal crimes.
Right. That's what needs to be done. Mike Davis, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Still ahead, a CNN panel is left stunned after an incredible